Welcome to Bharat CXO. Myself, Kaumudi Vaidya. We have with us Mr. Delzad Jivaasha with us right now. Good evening, sir. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, sir.
Thank you.
So I
And
would like
kudos
to
to the good work being done by Bharat CXO. Keep up the good work.
thank you so much, sir. How kind of you. So I would like to ask you a few questions.
Yes.
What do you think about integrating sustainability into tech development for environmental benefits?
I think today's buzzword has been giving a better future to the coming world. It's not just about what you do today, it's about what you are giving back to society at a later date and what is the legacy you're leaving. That's our responsibility equally as leaders, that we do not think only of ourselves but we think of future generations to come. And that is where integrating sustainability with technology becomes extremely important. To just give an indicative example, we all have a lot of usage of laptops. We all have a lot of usage of various infrastructure. Typically, once it reaches end of life systems, what is the mechanism that we are using to dispose of those assets becomes exceedingly important. There is increasingly a trend of obtaining green certificates to accordingly ensure that you are not degrading the environment in that way. So that becomes extremely important to us, Kaumudi, to keep in mind that at every given point in time we need to assess that what is the impact of our practices on the environment, what is the impact of our practices from a social standpoint, and eventually what is the impact from a governance standpoint. And the only way we can achieve this is if we basically marry technology and sustainability. And increasingly what is important to note and understand at this point in time is that the whole world is asking us these questions around sustainability. Sitting today, you need to understand that gone are the days when you just felt that getting a top line or a bottom line was only what you needed to do to become a leader. Like you rightly asked, and I've seen Bharat CXO spread this good message to the world at large in many other events, that taking forward the message of sustainability. The question is that today, anybody, including the man today who's walking on the road, if he has to invest his money in a company, he's asking questions, not just on what's your top line or your bottom line, but to what extent have you integrated technology into your considerations, and above all, how are you building sustainability as a critical leg and a critical element of that entire ecosystem.
What a wonderful answer, sir. Nextly, I would like to ask you, what do you think about the impact of AI on risk management?
That's a good question, Kaumudi. Interesting that you asked, I think, a question which is, I think, very close to the heart of many leaders like me. Look, you cannot build a successful, sustainable company without risk management. Now, the point is that 20 years ago, when we first, maybe 20 or 25 years ago, when we started our careers, whenever, at that point in time, there was always a regret that you don't have too much data available with you. The unfortunate problem is that today, that complaint has been replaced by another complaint, that we are having too much of data to deal with. Now, data speaks a language of its own, community, and that language needs to be understood. But the question is that can you get lost in the entire myriad of data, and how can you make sense out of that data to build a more sustainable organization which is built up on the core fundamental principles of governance and risk management. You look at any company across the world, the one common thing you'll realize is that they all saw ups and downs. But the people who survived over a period of time are those who built risk management practices, and they saw bad times, but they came out of the bad times because they had risk management on their side. Now the thing is that if we have to build risk management and make sense out of the data that I just spoke about, we cannot do it if we don't have artificial intelligence on our side. We need the artificial intelligence models to tell us where we are going wrong and help us in making decisions. Today's millennials, today's generation wants everything fast. And why not? There are people who are doing that. There are people who are absolutely doing that. People want good services immediately. Now, what will help you deliver that and still ensure quality will be AI. But the flip side of the coin, which equally needs to be understood, is that you need to keep checking and assessing, validating your AI models over and over a period of time, because with every technology, where while benefits will be there, the risk management side will also be there. And the need of the hour is that keep assessing on a concurrent basis, on a regular basis, whether your AI models are giving you the output that you wanted them to give. Are they giving you results that match up to your expectations? Are they giving you results which are on expected lines? Are you doing some kind of a trend or variance analysis? And if you're doing that trend or a variance analysis, are you then circling back to keep innovating your AI models again? So that these are considerations which need foremost importance.
What a broad perspective, sir. Very interesting. Very interesting.
Thank you.
Yes. Lastly, I would like to ask you how AI can be leveraged from a typical investor relation standpoint.
Okay, I mean, quite a different question to ask, because I mean, while the whole world is again talking about how you can leverage it in maybe risk management or cyber security, I think you've gone one step further to come out with an area which is not that well known. Again, reflects thought leadership, so that's good to know. But I'll look at this in two lenses, Komudi. One is that every organization typically wants investors to give you the money, because to a very large extent, how your company is performing out in the market can be known by how your investors are reacting to you. At least that is what is my personal view. And pretty much all of what I've spoken essentially represents what I think is my personal view of all of the questions which you have posed. This too. Now, investors, before they are putting in their money into your organization, among the myriad of factors that they are looking at, one of the important things they are looking at is how you're leveraging technology and artificial intelligence in your organization to be ahead of the pack. They derive a lot of confidence from the fact that, okay, you are abreast with what's happening in the world at large. And they want to understand the finer elements of it before they take some of their major decisions on selecting a company where they should put their money. So some of the marquee investors do want to know these things. So I think it's a very sharp question you've asked, because increasingly we'll see a lot of leveraging of AI in the space of investor relations as well. The second area where I think you can actually leverage this entire scenario is driven by the fact that how can you leverage AI to gain insights on what your competitors are doing. See, today, so many companies have typically their earnings investor calls. So many of them. You'll have 2-3 companies doing that every single day. Practically speaking, how much are you going to read? Or how much data analysis can any one individual do? That is where artificial intelligence can be leveraged to tell you and give you insights on what competitors are doing, which maybe you are not doing. What is it? Okay, you may be doing 18 out of 20 things, but what are the 2 things you are not doing? Now imagine a situation that you're confronted with 100 companies having their investor calls every month. Are you going to practically sit and do a dissection of 100 scripts coming your way? Then you'll only be doing that. And even if you were to do that, the level of time is not going to be enough. Now think about what an AI can do for you. 100 scripts giving you an output all in 5 minutes for you to understand that. I can only say you can love AI, you can hate AI, but you just cannot ignore AI.
Wow.
And in times to come, somewhere down the line, you cannot have AI as your enemy. Just like you accept the shortcomings of your friend, you will have to make friends with AI. Understand that friend has shortcomings, but you look at the overall person. So you look at AI overall and realize that if you want to progress in today's day and age, you need to be ahead of the curve in AI.
Wow, what a deep perspective, sir. It was a very lovely insight from you. I hope the viewers must be getting a very good insight.
Thank you. Thank you. All the very best, and keep up the great work.
Thank you so much, sir.
Have a nice day.